Hello and welcome to the Fedora Files. I am Gregory Fedora. With me, my good friend, the paramour of poltergeists, Chip Stetson. Welcome back.
Thank you. How are you doing, Gregory?
I'm doing great. I'm so glad you're back. And last time you were here, we talked about Bloody Mary, and I still have not looked in a mirror and said that name 3 times, and I won't.
And I haven't looked at a mirror at all since then. So,
Yeah. Hey, to each their own. You're like, I've achieved perfection. I don't need to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Or you've just given up on life. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Work, sleep, wake up, repeat, like Tom Cruise, just in a really bad way.
Nice. So the last time you were on, you had told us about a trip you had taken with your father and is it the Talbot Inn?
Yes. Yeah. The reason why we were heading out was my dad and I like doing the Bourbon Trail out in Kentucky, not just for the trail, but for the bourbon. We ended up going down and we were visiting Maker's Mark. Then we went and saw Barton's 1792 distillery. We saw Buffalo Trace. But while we were in Bardstown, which is like a mecca for bourbon seekers, there's a place there called the Talbot Inn. And it is but the oldest inn that is still there. In fact, they boast the world's oldest bourbon bar. And it sounds really interesting, but if you go to the bourbon bar, the oldest bourbon bar in America, it's actually quite boring. They have a lot of bourbons, but there's nothing else there to do. They have lousy music, not much atmosphere, and they painted the place so it looks kind of modern, but it's just really depressing and a letdown. But they do have a lot of different bourbons you can try. That's about the only thing I can offer with that one. But it is connected to the Talbot Inn. And the Talbot Inn is not only an inn, but also a restaurant. And they have a great hot brown, which is a famous meal that was created at the Brown Hotel after the owner and some of his friends were drinking bourbon one night. They got drunk and they needed to sober up. So what it is basically a thick piece of bread, chipped ham or turkey or both, drizzled in like a cheese sauce, topped with 2 slices of bacon, a slice of tomato, and then sprinkled with oregano. And it's absolutely delicious. You just bake it, melt it, and sobers you up, I guess.
Yeah. After you've been to the oldest bourbon bar, you need to be sobered up.
Absolutely. And we had a great time. We did go to the bar, of course, and we had some bourbon and we had some hot brown. And then we ended up getting a room at the Talbot Inn, which, like I said, is the oldest inn in Bardstown or in Kentucky, I think. We stayed in the general's quarters, which I think is called the general's quarters because Patton stayed there at one point. But while we were there was a paranormal investigation crew that was there, and they were filming for one of their television shows. And they were in the room next to where I was staying, which was the Jesse James suite. Now, the Jesse James suite, if you go into there, they have a plexiglass that covers the wall because there are bullet holes in the wall where Jesse James actually fired his gun and shot the place up because he, what I was told, I haven't investigated this part, but, people told me that he was there, he was drinking, passed out, woke up, saw a mural with a bunch of faces, thought it was people coming to get him, and he just started shooting them up. So the bullet holes are still there. I've got pictures of them. I'll send them to you. And it's an interesting story as far as that goes. Now, they do say that people claim that they've seen Jesse James' ghost there. Why he would haunt there because he stayed there at one point, I have no idea. I don't know why people think that famous people need to be the haunts for wherever they go. I mean, I know why they say that because they're trying to sell the, come here, Jesse James ghosts haunt haunts the place. But I'm sure it's probably like somebody that got crushed by a wall while building masonry or something like that. I don't know.
Or it could have been somebody on the other side of the wall when he shot through the wall.
Yeah,
and they just don't tell you he killed the guy on the other side who was there on a business trip trying to make money for his family. Jesse James sees a mural and kills him.
Never saw his kid again because Jesse James got drunk.
Yeah, way to go,
That's
Jesse.
the guy's ghost. Yeah, thank you, Mr. James.
Frank James would have never done that.
No,
Frank would have been like, Jesse, what are you doing?
He would have been hanging on to his brother's, straps up. No, I always get a kick out of how everybody says it's always a famous ghost. You never get really like Joe Schmo or something like that. Well, you do, but there's always a really good story behind it, Yeah. So
it's
I don't know the story.
It's kind of like the people who are reincarnated. They were always somebody way cooler than they are now.
Yeah, like I was Abraham Lincoln in a past life, or I was,
Cleopatra.
Yeah, exactly.
Which always leads me to ask, what did you do to end up being you? Because you sounded like you were way cooler back then.
Yeah.
And now you're you. Yeah, I mean, you screwed up somewhere.
Getting reincarnated, so you better yourself. And if you were like, Cleopatra or Abraham Lincoln, why are you?
Yeah, why are you Bobby living in the trailer park? What happened? You need to find out those lives in between. Where did you screw up? Maybe they got reincarnated.
You gotta go up.
Yeah, they turned into Adolf Hitler. I don't know. And then let's not go down that road. Anyway, back to the Talbot Inn.
Yeah. So while we were there, like I said, there was a television crew that was there. They were filming, and they were really cool people. In fact, they were filming in the bar, the oldest bourbon bar. It really didn't disrupt anything while they were there. I mean, they had a bunch of equipment in the back, and people were still just, drinking. It was, I found it humorous. But when I went to my room, I wanted to see the wall that Jesse shot up, because one of my friends was like, "Oh, if you go there, you got to see this wall." I was like, "All right." And the door was open, so I just kind of knocked, and they were filming, interviewing somebody inside, but it was just real quiet. And a guy comes out and he's like, "Hey, can I help you?" I was like, "Yeah, I just wanted to see if I could, see the wall Jesse shot up." He's like, "Yeah, come on in." These guys were super cool. I couldn't say enough nice things about them. I don't even know what channel these guys, broadcast on, but they were absolutely incredible. I mean, they're just very friendly, outgoing, open. Couldn't say enough nice things about them. But the next morning after I woke up, nothing happened, by the way, while I said no, levitating ghosts over the bed or, loud noises in the middle of the night.
Patton didn't show up and yell at you.
No, he didn't slap me or anything like that. So I was hoping, but no. So they offered a breakfast along with, the board. And this wasn't like, those hotels that have like the pancake conveyor belts or, make your own waffles. They had a guy who was actually the maintenance man doubling as the cook. I mean, he made scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, a pastry with, fruit stuff in it, and just homemade biscuits. I mean, it was the nines. I loved it. And he's like, "Hey, if you guys don't mind waiting, I'm running a little behind. I'll get your breakfast here in a second." I'm like, "Yeah, no worries." I was like the first one there. And he comes out and serves my dad and myself. He was like, "Sorry about it, man. Things have been really crazy this morning." I'm like looking around, and there's like nobody there. I'm like, "What do you mean crazy?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know. The crew that was here last night, I mean, they've just been stirring up all sorts of stuff." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, we've got stuff knocking off the shelves by itself, and just loud noises, bangs, things like that." I'm like, "So you're having what? Activity, paranormal activity?" He's like, "Yeah, no." He's like, "It happens all the time, but it just seems like it's a lot more this morning." And it just kind of brought it. I'm like, "Well, what sort of weird things do you have?" He goes, "Oh, let me tell you." And I'm like, "Why aren't you talking to the crew upstairs about this?" He goes, "I don't want to be on TV." I was like, okay, well, I'll listen to your stories. It's all good. And he was just telling me there was this one time there's a basement to the place. And he said none of the girls want to go downstairs. They don't feel safe. They don't like it. There's always somebody down there. He's like, I was here by myself. I was locking up, and I was at the bottom of the stairs in the basement, and I saw somebody walk by. So I walked upstairs. I'm like, hello. And there wasn't anybody there. And I turned to go down, the hall where I saw the person follow. And I saw him at the end of the hallway. He said, he turned to look at me, smiled, and just disappeared. And, just these kind of stories, the ones from personal experiences, are the ones that I like hearing the most. I don't like reading about it on the internet, not experiencing it. I don't like, having somebody say, oh, you got to go here because I heard this. I want to hear from the people that actually saw it. I want to see, and feel what they do. That's why I really enjoyed Bobby Mackey's when I was there, because the person that I talked to and was giving the tour and, giving us all the stories, she had experienced stuff. It's the same way. If you don't have a connection to the person that's letting you know what it is, if you haven't experienced it yourself, it doesn't really hold true, and it doesn't really feel as real. So, I mean, this guy, he was telling me that things were happening all through the kitchen, just glasses flying off the shelf, pots falling off the wall where they were hanging. And he said, just things have been going crazy. And I asked him if I could go back there and look. And he said, yeah, nothing happened while I was there. So, I'm not that lucky. But
the ghosts are scared of you.
Yeah. My luck. I'm interested in ghosts, and they never come around. I've never seen a ghost. I would love to see a ghost. I've been to so many different haunts, so many different places, never experienced anything paranormal. That'd be a dream come true.
That's not true. Gettysburg.
Oh, that's right. We did.
Yeah.
We did have with the dowsing rods.
Yeah, that was pretty. So you have.
Excuse me.
You lied.
But I didn't see anything.
Oh yeah.
I just
okay.
We just talked to him.
Yeah.
We just talked to him.
Yeah.
But no, I would love to be able to say that I saw an apparition or a ghost or an orb or whatever the hell.
You know what you could go do? Get a
What's
candle, go in your bathroom, look in the mirror.
I am not doing Bloody Mary.
I'm just saying.
You're like, as much as I'd like to see, I am not that gutsy.
So
I freak out about after watching Poltergeist 3. Mirrors just freak me out. I just don't like it.
Yeah, but so would you say the Talbot Inn is a haunted location? That it's one I've never heard of. So I've never.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely well. That's why I liked it, is because it's not something that you see on TV. You haven't seen a special on it. You haven't seen some ghost adventuring crew tearing the place up.
Yet
it's just one of these run-of-the-mill, places that you come across, and then you find out, oh wait, yeah, it's haunted. I would absolutely say that it was haunted because, well, one, like I said, this paranormal investigation crew. I think that was the name of the show, but I don't remember. I mean, they were there, so they had heard about it. But the cook, the maintenance guy, he was like, yeah. And he said the women that work upstairs, there's two ladies that work both the gift shop and the inn. They also, I think, double as a hostess for the restaurant. But the two or three ladies were working upstairs. He said they won't go into the basement. And when somebody says they're terrified to go someplace, that tells me that there's a reason, behind that. So, no, I honestly, I think that is one of the more haunted places that I've visited.
And not even planning it.
Not even planning it. I just happened to be there with the television crew that was filming, and I thought it was really cool that I was there. I'm like, wow, this is really neat. I get to see behind the scenes,
Yeah.
And I wanted to know what channel they were on, so I could, or streaming service they were a part of, so I could watch it. I'm like, hey, I was there. I talked to these guys, but I didn't talk to anybody that was on camera. Everybody was, in the production behind the crew. But nice. They, like I said, they were super cool, really nice people, very friendly. Couldn't say enough nice things about them.
Very cool. Well, I'll have to do some research and see what crews have gone to the Talbot Inn and see if there's a special because this was a couple months ago, so it should be coming up relatively soon.
I mean, it's got to be out of production by now. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'll have to look into that and find out. And if we find out, we can share it with people and say Chip Stetson was there and bothering the crew when they were trying to do their job because he wanted to see the holes in the wall.
Asking for autographs and, going, hey, can I be on TV?
Yeah, nice. Like very. So what is your next adventure? What is your next thing you're planning?
You know what? I'm not really sure, but I have been getting a couple of interesting advertisements for these different asylums in Pennsylvania, and I'm thinking that might be a good visit. They're offering overnights where it goes from like 8 p.m. at night till like 6 a.m. in the morning, and that's my wheelhouse. That's when I work. I'm third shift, so I was like, yeah, that might be kind of interesting. Free reign after they give you a tour. You can do investigations or anything like that. But I mean, I don't have any equipment or anything like that. I just rely on my own senses and how I feel. Because, I mean, as you know, when you're there, you kind of can feel when something's coming around. I mean, you get that the hairs on your neck, on your arm, goosebumps. I rely on that more than I do any electronic equipment or anything like that. So I might give one of those a try and see what we have. I mean, I'll bring my camera along so I can record anything and do some filming for video for you. But I haven't really thought about where, but I've got an idea of what. So
now I do have another assignment for you now, though, too, to do some research. Now,
what's that?
So dreams and premonitions. Like it's a well-known documented thing that Abraham Lincoln had a dream about himself.
He had a dream about his
assassination. Yeah. And it was 10 days before he got killed. And it was documented and he told people about it. And to the point where
he said that he actually he walked into the White House.
Yeah.
Everybody was standing around a casket or something like that. And it was open. And he was like, who died? They're like,
the president.
And he saw himself. And so, I know. Exactly
and it was so much so that his wife didn't want to go to the theater because she was worried and because of his dream. But like, I'd like you to do research and find more of those kind of stories where it's documented the person that we know for sure that it was documented before the thing happened. I know there's a lot of people who said that they had dreams about 9/11, but it was like they talked about after the fact. So I'll do some research, you do some research, see what we can find about these.
I actually have kind of like a weird story that's similar to that. It's not documented, so I can't,
Well, you can share it, but wait for it. Don't share it now.
But wait until next time.
Yes. See, that's how we get them. Now they're like, ooh, what is his story?
Bring them in.
Yeah.
They're and like, he has something.
It's going to be like, and I dreamt that the McDonald's ice cream maker was out of order.
It's broken. It was crazy. I mean,
it always is.
It was broke.
No.
Well, so in 3 months from now, they're going to go, oh, finally, I get, Chip's story.
We got to just reel them in. And then bring, make them want to come. But I thank you because I know you're busy and you got to head to work again. You just woke up and you got to go to work and then come back and go and you're nonstop.
Yeah, third shift is a pain, but
somebody's got to
pay the bills. Got to take care of the dad.
Nice.
He's a good guy. I look out for him.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on, as always.
Oh, no. I appreciate you having me, man. I was glad I was able to share my stories.
Oh, definitely. I love hearing your stories. And those of you watching or listening, thank you for tuning in. And as always, stay safe and keep searching.
The Fedora Files. Check out fedoracrt.com today.